Gentlemen, I feel honored to introduce myself in front of you. I am Ajay Pal Yadav. My father's name is Mr. Brajmon Yadav. I belong to district Alwar, Rajasthan. I have completed my intermediate since 2021. Right now, I am pursuing graduation from RR College Alwar with mathematics. My hobby is playing cricket, reading newspaper, and do gardening, which connect me more with nature. I want to join Indian Air Force because it's a dream of me from childhood. Moreover, I want to serve our country, and it is a very adventureful life. Today, our topic is group discussion is Atmanirbhar Bharat in the defense sector. Atmanirbharta means the self-reliance in defense sector. In anything, self-reliance is very important, but in defense, it is also become a crucial because in future time scenario, we can be face a two-front war. That time we can be need a weapons and other equipments, and it can be a most costly. But if we are self-reliant, then we can generate produce in our thing in our country. Also, it increase the employment of our country and aspiration for our countries, and also to reach the 2047 developed vision. Self-reliance in defense sector is very important. Thank you.
Next candidate, Ajay Gill.
First of all, a very warm good evening to all. That my name is Ajay Gila. I am from Didwana, Rajasthan, which is famous for Salt Lake. If I talk about my qualifications, that I complete my intermediate exams in 2023 with 89%, and now I am pursuing BSc first year. If I talk about my hobbies, that I would like to play cricket and solve the mathematical puzzles. My short-term career goal is join Indian Air Force as an Agniveer, and long-term career goal is join Indian Air Force as an officer. So today we are going to discuss the topic about Atmanirbhar Bharat in defense sector. That, as we know, India is the largest country of that their armed force, and almost that the share of 59% military forces are to be in India. It's a good sign. That's the reason that our government think Atmanirbhar Bharat is very important in our defense sector, and that's the reason that in India not to share about the topic of Russia Ukraine war, because India import the many other items from the Russia for their armed force. But India in the present, and India also be self-dependent, as we know that our almost 80% weapons in defense sector are also be made in India, and many other product of the defense and many other weapons are also be made by India's company in the India. It's a very good sign of our nation. Thank you.
Next candidate, Choudhary ji. Next candidate, Choudhary.
Jain sir and Jain dear all. I am Prem Chaudhary. I belong to Mathura, Uttar Pradesh. If I talk about my educational qualification, I completed my 12th from UP board. Now I mention my family. There are 5 members in my family, 3 siblings and parents. Friends, as we know that the defense job is the most reputable. Air Force is also a defense job. I like Air Force in Indian Air Force. Friends, basically I don't have any particular hobby because I spare time. I like to watch movie, listen music, play cricket, etc. for the sake of entertainment. After referring the paragraph, I want to say that, friends, as we know that Atmanirbhar Bharat was announced by 12 May 2020 by PM Narendra Modi, which gives the package of 20 lakh crore rupees for make self-dependent. So this mission is going to help India. And friends, as we know that Atmanirbhar Bharat mission will help in India boosting economics and the defense sector. In fact, as we know that the DRDO and the very helpful in many missiles and etc. So thank you.
Next candidate, Pooja.
Jai Hind everyone, I am Pooja Kumari. I belong to Rajasthan, which is famous for its historical places. I have completed my schooling in 2022. Currently, I am pursuing graduation. My hobby is Kho. I am physically fit and mentally sound. My father is a farmer and my mother is a dedicated homemaker. I want to join Indian Air Force because I am very much inspired by squad leader Anni Chaturvedi ma'am, and it's at the same time provide opportunity to start the career in very low age. Now come to this topic. This topic is Atmanirbhar Bharat in defense sector. Atmanirbhar Bharat means self-defense reliance in the defense sector. It started by our honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi to to invest of money in 20 lakh crores and defense Russian investment Ukraine self defense and a report to according 11% global armed forces in our country and in 1958 DRDO is started in defense sector and any example of IDX sector in made by in 2018 in our government started to a plan for a defense sector in Make in India in 2014 and Startup India in 2016 and also some challenge and some positive effect we can discuss in our GD part. Thank you.
Next candidate, Siddharth.
Good afternoon, candidates. My name is Siddharth Singh. I'm from Bharatpur, Rajasthan, which is famous for Kerala National Bird Sanctuary. I completed my 12th class from State Board Rajasthan with 95 percentage, and now I'm pursuing my graduation from Braj University, Bharatpur in arts stream. In my family, my father is a policeman, my mother is a homemaker, and we are three siblings. I like to play football and reading newspaper. Coming towards my topic, the topic name is Atmanirbhar Bharat in defense sector. As we know that India is seventh largest country in the world, so we have many enemy in the world. As the relations between our neighbors is not so good, so that we have to become self-independent in our defense sector. As the 60% of the Indian armed is imported from Russia, second largest, and France is the second largest exporter to armed forces or to India. As PM Narendra Modi started Make in India so that they can promote the Atmanirbharta and that the armed forces can be made in India so that we does not depend on the other countries for their defense securities. As the age is war, we are in war age, so that anytime the war can happen, and this lead a bad effect on depending on other countries, so that this is also very important for us, our securities. That's why we want Atmanirbharta, and then there are some positive impacts and how we can
Next
achieve.
candidate,
We can
Nishu
discuss
Yadav.
GD.
Nishu Yadav.
Yes, sir. Jain friends, my name is Nishu Yadav. I am from Alwar, Rajasthan. My father name is Suresh Chand Yadav, and my mother is a homemaker. My father is a shopkeeper, and my hobbies are playing cricket and do yoga practice. I want to join Indian Air Force to serve my nation, and it gives me adventurous life, and it's a secure life. That's all about me. Now I'm coming on our today's GD topic, that is Atmanirbhar Bharat and defense sector. As we all know that in this time the national security is the one of the primary concern for every nation, and it should be developed. We should develop our national security, and we should develop our defense sector in everything. Like what happened in this time, the many countries they are making the atom bombs and all these weapons, so they are making all countries are making. So Atmanirbhar Bharat means like we are developing us in the sector of defense. Atmanirbhar Bharat to develop defense technology and weapons in India. For the past many years, India has many been dealing with the several countries like USA, Russia, France, and the UK of the arm deals. But under the Atmanirbhar Bharat scheme, the GOI is trying to reduce the import of weapons and develop missiles and the artillery in India itself. Thank you, sir.
Next candidate, Anubhav.
Jai Hind, respected sir and my dear friends. My name is Anubhav from Madai, Uttar Pradesh, which is famous for many historical buildings. I have passed my 12th examination from RKSP Minto College and currently pursuing Bachelor of Arts third year from HSD College. My hobbies are playing cricket, piano, and volleyball. I wanted to join Indian Air Force as I have enthusiasm to do something for my country. That's all about me. Now coming on to the our GD topic, which is Atmanirbhar Bharat in defense sector. Friends, as we all know, in today's time, no country such that which will be independent in ourselves. Here we have to depend on other country. But by the initiating the Atmanirbhar Bharat scheme it help a lot of our country to be self dependent, as we invest a lot of money to purchase the weapons, and if we if will be self dependent in field of defense sector, then we can save that money and can invest it in many other works which will be very beneficial for us. Thank you.
Next candidate Sagar Kumar.
Jain sir and my dear friends, my name is Sagar Kumar. I am from Samit Uttar Pradesh. I passed class 12 from UP board. There are 5 members in my family. My father is a farmer. My mother is a homemaker. My hobby is playing cricket. My strong point is that I am hardworking. I want to join Airforce because I serve the nation. Today is my topic Atmanirbhar Bharat in defense sector. Atmanirbhar Bharat means self-reliant in India. India is the largest country in the defense sector. The Prime Minister Narendra Modi invest beats 20 lakh crore in the defense sector. PM started Make in India for defense sector. Uh, at the time of war, we do not depend other country. The Atmanirbhar Bharat scheme import and export weapon each other. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
Next candidate Omji Shukla.
Jai Hind everyone, my name is Omji Shukla. I am 18.5 years old. I am born and brought up in Auraiya district situated in Uttar Pradesh. I have completed my 10th and 12th from UP board and currently pursuing my graduation from Chhatrapati Savaji Maharaj University, Kanpur. Talking about my family, we are 4 members in my family. My father is a government teacher and my mother is a dedicated house lady. We are 2 siblings. My reason for the join Indian Air Force is becoming a part of the Indian Air Force is like a feeling proudness for me as well as my parents. Besides it, I am heavily passionate to serve my nation, and for me, the Indian Air Force gave me the best opportunity to serve my nation. Thank you. This is all about me. Now we just move on the topic, which is Atmanirbhar Bharat in defense sector. Atmanirbhar Bharat means self-defense reliance, self-confident reliance in the defense sector. As we know, India is a developed country and developing more and more day by day. India is working many things to increase the defense sector without depending on others. The Indian government also increased its budget from 58% to 68% and also launched the many type of policies that we discuss in our GD part. Thank you.
Okay, candidates, now we start our discussion part. And Ajay Pal Yadav, you can initiate the topic.
Thanks, sir, for giving me this opportunity. Gentlemen, as we all know that self-reliance is in defense sector become a very important because right now our first priority is a national security, and national security cannot be gained without the Atmanirbharta in defense sector. In like to making of weapons like AK-47, AK-203 rifles, and like work on the INS Vikrant and the Tejas aircraft. So that is showing that India is also doing a too much working into getting a self-reliance in the defense sector. Like it also do a 74% foreign direct FDI in defense sector, so that the people can more involved in our country, and also it also give incentivize to the startups of our countries, so that the private workers, private people, or also can come in our defense sector and work for our country. Thank you.
Yes, friend, as we
I am
know that
totally agree with you,
self-defense is very
gentlemen. Under
important,
the
play a very big
Atmanirbhar,
role for all over the country and all over the person. So that's a big reason that the peoples and country are also be very important, play very important role, and all the persons are with together. That our Prime Minister Narendra Modi said that our armed forces are be a very crucial moment for all of space all over the country, and that's the mission that 20 lakh crore also be funding for our armed force, and it's be a very big moment for our armed force.
yes,
I
you are
agree
right.
with
Under
my
the
speaker.
Atmanirbhar
Here, I
scheme,
would
India is
like to
making
add.
many types of weapons,
India.
guns, and many biggest guns. And the biggest example is the Tejas aircraft, which is totally made in India and joined in the Indian Air Force in 2015.
Yes, I'm totally agree with you. India is the largest country, so no doubt for India, our country is also provide to large number of large number of missiles, Tejas aircrafts, and many missiles products. We can see in at present our defense sector promoting day by day in starting our DRDO in 1958 in made defense sector. As of April 2022, then the over manufacturing companies product.
I
And
agree
as
with my
the
speaker
friend
here.
Yeah,
I
mentioned,
would
Minded,
like
I
to
want
add
to say
one
that
more
we
point.
as
can
we
able to
all know
disable
that
the
we have a
illegally.
conflict with more countries. Yes, in my opinion, like we have the conflict with the China and Pakistan, so they are the nearest country from us. So we should aware about that. That we have to create like good national security in the defense sector. Then we can do something like for our country. And the government is also taking steps again that further to but achieving the aim of Atmanirbhar Bharat, the GOI not only increasing the budget for the defense sector but also reserved 70% of total defense sector budget for 2022.
I would
As our
agree with
government
friends as well. We are the
started,
second in the population, but our more depends on other country for defense sector. Friends, as we know that the defense sector in India is identified in the many important area with the occasion of opportunity for self-depend with large moderation required of armed forces. India vision to for Atmanirbhar Bharat had provided further impulse to realize the goal of defense sector. According to the study of our friends, as we know that the defense organization is to the process of developing and manufacturing defense empowerment with a country as well as. Would you like to say something, dear friend?
as,
I
as
agree
the
with my
government
former speaker.
also
Here, I
work for
would
this,
like to add
the
one more
government
point
in
also. Friends,
2001
as we all know that
privatized the defense system, privatized the defense system so that a private owners can also invest in our defense services, so they can provide a more valuable technology so that we can become self independent in the defense sector. As DRDO also start they open their gates to everyone so that they can share their idea how can they become self reliant in our defense sector.
According to
Yes, you
me,
are right. I want to tell about the government step to improve the Atmanirbhar scheme that the Indian government launched many type of scheme like Make in India in 2014, Startup India in 2016. That are the good initiative step taken by the Indian government. From its private sector also help us to improve the our defense sector.
according to me, India is a developed country and developed more day by day. Atmanirbhar Bharat scheme at time war we do not depends other country. We all know that Atmanirbhar Bharat very beneficial in our defense sector because it provides many equipments like AK-47 missile etc. which it
I
helps in wartime.
I agree with my former speaker. Here, I would like to add one more point also, friends. As we all know that if a odd condition or such like war create in our future, then to use the self-made weapons is more beneficial for us because if we use the self-made weapons, then then the other country don't know what is our weakness and it is also provides an employment for the people because to make the weapons there is need lot of people that provides the employment. Thank you.
Yes, I am totally agree with you. And we can talk. I want to say something to continue discussion. We can talk in a Russia-Ukraine war. India is also provided two missiles product and many more in a Russia. And we can talk in example for index scheme. And government has also taken some steps and invest for defense sector and index scheme is invest for 50 to 20 lakh per.
I would like to say something here. Friends, as we know that we are need to more invest in our research and technology for defense sector. And when Indian government took step to attract foreign company to India to establish defense industries, but many such companies are assembling the competition the defense market. And friends, as we know that in April 2020, the Indian government announced it is planning to ramp up domestic defense product to balance the possible shortfall from the main supply Russia. Thank you.
Also,
As when the Ukraine
towards to getting Atmanirbharta in defense sector, India and Russia joint venture make a AK-203 rifle. Only 30,000 rifle will made from the Russia, but more than 6 lakh of rifles AK-203 will be make in India. It will be make in Amethi. So that is so that India is also working towards getting a self reliance in defense sector.
as we know that we import many types of missiles from Russia. When the Russia-Ukraine war started, the Russian imports is obstructed very drastically. The import as completely shut down, so that our defense services become weakened. That's why the DRDO also decided to start the self self-made weapons, so that we does not depend on that situations, and we can tackle that situations when our import defense shut down, and when the war started, we can win the war against any enemy.
I agree with my former speaker. Here, I would like to add one more point also. Friends, to depend on other country completely is not good, because if any country forbid us to help us in a wartime situation, then the situation will be more tremendous for us. But if we will be self-dependent, then we can survive in any situation. Thank you.
So I'm agree with your point that at the time it is not important that other countries will help you or not. So first of all, we should depend on our selfly. So in my opinion, like India is the one of the largest economies, and it's also one of the largest importers of the arms and ammunitions in this time in the world. Uh, as we all know, in this time, like it will be reduce the if we are implementing the Atma Bharat defense scheme in India. That time it will reduce arm imports that can be boost our economy also. Thank you.
Agree to
Yes,
that.
I am totally
According to
agree with you.
report of
To
CIPRI,
continue discussion, I want to say something. It's good for a defense sector in our country and boost our economy. And we can see in day by day increasing in defense sector. So help to try developing to developed country, and no doubt for our country is not depend for any country in armed forces, and it's important power of in our country.
according to the report of CIPRI, India is the world second largest importer of the weapons and defense equipment.
Missiles, rocket, aircraft, etc. Friends, as we know that our neighbor countries like China, Pakistan, etc. provoke India to fight them. And friend, we are self-dependent, so they are very helpful for our defense. Thank you.
Yes, you are right. As we know, India is
If
the
we are
world largest
self-dependent, then it also
country which is import the arms supplies. But now, with the Atmanirbhar scheme, we are making assault rifles, missiles, bulletproof jackets, and helmets by own. And the biggest example that I seen, AK-03 assault rifles, India is making in Raebareli gun factory by own without helping others.
And also adding to some point, according to the report of CIPRI, India is the world largest importer of defense equipment in the world. That is so that India is mainly dependent on the defense equipment import, and also it is reduce the employment. And next is that it is cost effective for us. And sometimes in war-like situation, we probably that the coming transportation can be stopped, so that we cannot be get which we want in weaponry. So Atmanirbharta is very important in defense sector.
So I'm agree with your point that it is very important for our nation, and not only for our nation but also the other nations, because as we all know that the government is India is planning to reserve a budget, and it's the important thing that especially for the startups and other things to research and development is defense sector. If in my opinion, like we have not like that research and development. That's why we are we are taking the more and more weapons from the other countries in this time. And if we are developing our research center to the create the weapons and make the weapons, that time we are doing the startups for that thing, so then it can be beneficial for our country, for the security of the country.
Yes, my
According
former
to me,
speaker also
Atmanirbhar
said
Bharat,
right, but
Atmanirbhar Bharat provides employment in defense sector. The government of India not need to help other country because India is self-dependent country. And today India is the largest export weapon country, and India helps to weak country through the defense sector.
I agree with my former speaker. Here, I would like to add one more point also. Friends, to be self-dependent is nowadays is important for us because we are seeing that as like Pakistan and China creating the challenge for us in every field. In every field, as Pakistan claims the Kashmir is his part, and China claims that Arunachal Pradesh is his part. So here we need to increase our power in defense sector and be self-dependent. Thank you.
Yes, I'm agree with your point. Like we have the conflict with China and Pakistan on the in Jammu Kashmir region. That's why we should develop our defense sector more and more, because we have already faced the wars. That time our defense system was not like that developed in that time. But if now we are doing that, then we can face any challenges which will come in future time.
yes, for solving this situation, the DRDO, the Defense Research and Development Organization, has also recruiting the youth to share their ideas, also help them to become self-reliant, so that they start recruiting the youth for developing our defense services, such that the defense services. And this can help very much, so that they can make their own INS Vikrant. Also, they were working on the our own aircraft, so that they become also self-reliant on the air base also.
Yes, I am
Also,
totally agree
the
with you.
Army
In a
Varda,
developed
Indian Navy made its INS aircraft carrier, that is INS Vikrant, and next is Indian Navy's aim, so to till 2025 they will reach 90% of self-reliance. If talking about the Air Force, also Air Force will make its Tejas aircraft, that so that the Make in India initiative, through the Make in India initiative. And in Indian Army, like multi-barrel rocket launcher system, Pinaka, and also some of the AK-203 rifles are also made in. That's so that the Make in India is very important for our country.
I would like
Yes,
to
I'm
some
totally agree with you to develop in a defense sector to develop in a defense sector to also help in Pakistan wars, China wars, and also help to good relations for another country. So our government is also want to increasing our defense sector and also help for make fund many funds of defense sector.
and I would like to say something. Friends, as we know, the DRDO has the key role in making India and making self-Atmanirbhar Bharat and defense sector. And friends, as we know that in 2001, and friends, several other schemes in Make in India launch in 2020 in a startup. And friends, the make the defense sector is main. Atmanirbhar Bharat is defense sector is main important role in our country. Thank you.
I
Research and
definitely agree
innovation
with
is
that.
very important in through the for the self-reliance in the defense sector. Like DRDO working on that sector, and also we need to space sector so that it will be help for our defense sector.
As my former speaker said very correctly, so that in budget 2023, the domestic defense budget also increases from 58 to 60%, so that so that we can become Atmanirbhar, also start working on the weapons that were made in India. That's why the PM Narendra Modi also increases the budget of our defense services, and this will also be very useful for our defense services to become strengthened.
Yes, you are right. To continue the discussion, I want to say that I want to say that Atmanirbhar scheme is the good initiative steps taken by the Indian government as we have already faces the two border dispute from Pakistan and China, and from this our all three forces become very strong without more expenditure.
In India government also introduced the IDEX scheme so that the foreign investors also can invest in our local defense services so that they can get wealth and also some technology from the other countries so that they also working properly and become and make some useful weapons for our defense services.
We are going toward the self-reliance in defense sector, but still there is a need some efforts for our governments, like they can be provide more FDI, which they are which coming in for 74%, so that private people can be involved in defense sector to making a new weaponries for our country. And in research and development, startups is very needed. Startup to provide the incentive for startup is very important for our government.
Yes, I'm agree with your point, and I want to say that India is also contributing around 13.3% of its annual budget to defense sector. It means like we are focus our we are doing more focus on our national security, and we all know that all the countries are investing more much in defense to secure their borders. Like and this time, what happens similar to other nations like India is also making considerable investment in defense sector, and DRDO is also working for that. They are doing the more research to develop the uh, weapons for the India. And one brother already mentioned that in army and in navy and in air force, they are making their own weapons to secure the security of the India.
As we know that sometimes sometimes later sometime ago 35 aircrafts was brought in from France, including Rafale, for strengthening our airmen's air force. There are some low quality aircraft we have. That's why our Indian government also bought these types of aircraft so that they can air become they get air support. They very crucially as so that the our our aircraft our air defense services also strengthened when the Rafale is coming, as we does not have any homemade Rafale or the homemade aircrafts. We are only purchasing from other countries. Our air defense is very technologically down, so that we have to work on that thing so that our air force also reliant from become self reliant in this field.
According to me, India is a very powerful country because India's defense sector are available many equipment which it helps in war, and also DRDO helps in defense sector. But we need to more develop def- defense sector on the border of Pakistan and China.
Okay, agree with my former speaker. At last, I would like to say that to prove oneself better in the world now has been a challenge for each country. and to prove oneself better than other country. Each country have to take many steps as like Atmanirbhar Bharat and Made in India project etc. So for a better future, each and every country and try to initiate this type of schemes. Thank you.
In our defense sector, we have very talented persons, but we does not have any technology so that they can give our best in our to protect our country. So this is the main reason why we have to become self reliant in defense sector, because the life of our air force, navy, or our army, the life is very important, so that when they are technologically stable, so that they can fight for our country and also protect us from the enemies by finishing the enemies. So that this conversation is completely all from my side. Thank you.
Okay, now Omji Shukla conclude the topic.
Okay, sir. After the healthy discussion, I would like to say in the conclusion about the Atmanirbhar Bharat that at the last I want to say Atmanirbhar scheme is the good initiative by the government. From its we are making many things like missiles, missiles, Tejas aircraft, and in the Indian Army also making the many types of helmets, bulletproof helmets, jackets, and many more things. So we can say that it is the good steps by the government, and we save the more money also.
Now
Yes, friend, India,
Ajay Pal
India
conclude
is
the
taking
topic.
steps in increasing the share of domestic and manufacturing defense sector.
At last, in conclusion, I want to say that self-reliance is a good initiative for our country's development because in future time scenario, if war happened that time, we need a weaponry, too much weapon system, and it can be also too much cost effective. So reduce it that situation. Also reduce the risk of bad relation with other countries. So we need to self-reliance in defense sector, which provide a more employment to our youth and also give the inspiration to join the defense service in our country.
ओके कैंडिडेट्स, नाउ वी एंड आवर टुडेज सेशन और मिलते हैं शाम को 7:30 के ऊपर. रिजल्ट आप लोगों का अपलोड कर दिया, तो जाके चेक कीजिए. जय हिंद ऑल ऑफ यू.